Now, it wasn't too long ago that I made a video about incels, this whole Idaho 4 angle, and everything that went along with this. And the few people that did watch that video, because this was before a lot of you guys got here, there was a lot of incels that actually had a problem with the video. Stop blaming the incels. Well, today we're going to revisit that, because believe it or not, on News Nation, they even visited it a little bit, but I want to reiterate some ideas and give you some new ones in regards to this crime and why I believe this is a situation where a rejected incel of a person is the one that committed these awful crimes. I'm JB Gunner. This is Crime Time with JB Gunner. Let's go ahead and get things started. It's cold as fuck, balls shriveled. It's not a good morning. Let's do it.
Bring it back.
What's going on, everybody? As you guys know, I'm JB Gunner, and this is Crime Time with JB Gunner. Guys, it is cold as shit. I stepped outside thinking I was being a G, stepped outside in my damn sandals and shorts, and man, I don't even think I'm a dude anymore. That motherfucker, I don't think it's there anymore. It's just gone. It's just gone. Sorry, Melissa. I think it's gone. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to this. Guys, before we start this video, I want to say first and foremost, thank you to everybody that supports this channel, regardless of the method you choose, whether it's Cash App, Patreon, Venmo. Truth is, guys, I couldn't do this each and every day if it wasn't for you, the Gun Squad. Thank you all so much for all of your support. You guys are what keeps this rolling. No matter how many times YouTube takes me down, no matter how many times I disappear, I keep coming back 16 years strong. Actually, it was 16 years on December 21st. So thank you guys so much. You guys are what does this. And if YouTube find value in my content, no better time than now. Feel free to join the Gun Squad. Hit the links below. Buy your boy a Christmas gift, since there ain't no fucking family in this house no more, which is actually pretty good. I got all kinds of shit lined up. Anyway, let's go ahead and roll on with this video, because speaking of that, we're going to talk about incels. We're going to be talking about their place in this crime, all of this. By the way, a lot of you guys have been asking me where you can find some of my other work. Particularly in 2023, I'm going to be hitting hard with the political channels, the gaming channels, all of that. They're actually down in the description box. You can go check that out. You can see some of my archived work in my Odyssey and my Rumble. That's actually a good place to find me in case to take my channels down. My Twitter, it's a good place to keep in touch with me. Email, you know how that shit goes. But I want to get into this, because actually they did a video on News Nation in regards to incels. Now I want to remind you guys of something just real quick. Way back a month ago, when all this first started, I did a video right there. It says the Idaho murder update. This was the second video I did on the entire case. It says the incel that I predicted killed the 4 women was caught on camera. And this is where I started really honing in on Jack S. But prior to this, the first video I did of this entire case, when I was just reporting the story, the first video I did, I said, this is going to be an incel. This is going to be someone angry. And a lot of people, well, they're like, no, this is going to be some personal issue between her and the boyfriend. And it very much could be that. Because when I looked at Jack D, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I still sense incel vibes. Incel isn't always about complete inability to get pussy. It's not always about appearance, things like that, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 42 years old. I don't look nothing like I did when I was in my 20s. But there's not a day goes by that I can't get some pussy if I want to. Why? Personality. It's just the way this thing works. Some people have it, some people don't. Some people get by just on looks, and some people get by just on personality. But either way, if you have a mixture of that shit, typically it does well. We're going to talk about this because I know there's even a few incels probably watching this right now. A few dudes right now that can't get any ass. A few dudes right now angry about it because they feel like ass is owed to them. We're going to have those conversations in this video. Let's go ahead and get back to here, because I'm going to show you this video from Banfield, and we're going to talk about these things. Let's roll it.
It is the question that has yet to be solved. Who killed those 4 students in Moscow, Idaho? Behavioral analysts from the FBI are, as we speak, trying to profile the murderer. And while their work is a secret, the theories aren't. Is it possible that the killer was acting out of some kind of hatred of women? Before the break, we talked about the subculture known... By
the way, not all incels... let me rephrase this. There's this common theme that if you criticize women or if you call them out on their bullshit, they're like, oh, what are you, an incel or something? You hate women? No, I'm just real. Because I even have gotten caught. And I'm like, how the fuck am I an incel? I have no issues. But ultimately, there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of ridicule someone gets the minute they criticize a woman. Like if you point out the little inconsistencies or you point out the family courts and how women get child support 87% of the time while getting custody 87% of the time, meanwhile, while being the number one person to actually kill their kids. If you point that out, they're like, you hate women. No, I'm just pointing out an inconsistency and the reason we shouldn't have to pay for you motherfuckers. That's all I'm saying. But if you point things like this out, if you bring up the concept of hypergamy, if you bring up the concept of monkey branching, and a lot of you guys don't know what that means, but if you bring up those concepts, which are very real things, the people immediately attempt to shame you and say you're an incel or that you hate women. No. Just like there's many of you women that criticize us men, rightly so. Doesn't mean you hate men. You still suck dick, don't you? That's the point. Same thing with people that criticize women. And so I want to make this clear before we jump into this. There is a difference between people that don't even get along or people that, criticize the opposite sex and then the group of people we're going to talk about here today. And ladies, I want you to understand that clear cut. That just because a man criticizes you or isn't a simp or just doesn't follow you around like a dog with the pink thing hanging out does not make him an incel. Men run this shit. And the reality of this is men should criticize you and they will criticize you because men are supposed to drive the car. Dick is supposed to drive this boat. Men are supposed to lead this thing. And I get it. It's going to freak all the feminists out that I said that. That's your problem. But ultimately, men's job is to criticize and lead the ship, right? So I just want to separate that because a lot of you women, you go off on men just for simply criticizing the shit that other men fall for that we ain't gonna fall for. You know what I'm saying? One of your favorite insults is if we have something negative to say about you. What, are you gay? Shut up. Yeah, I don't like them either. I don't like gays either, dog. All right, let's go ahead and get back. Shut up. But anyway, let's skip all that. Let's get back to the story. I just wanted to make that clear before we got into this because I hear her already, Banfield. You know how women are. Let's go.
As incels. And there are two people who know that topic best. Chris Mohandi is a forensic psychologist with more than 25 years of experience in assessing and managing violent behavior. And you may well know him from his popular investigation discovery show, Most Evil. And Sarah Daly is a criminologist who has dedicated much of her life's work to studying incels and mass violence. And welcome to both of you. I couldn't have two better experts on this topic.
Sorry about that. I had to put that little fucking dog away. Let's do it.
Have two better experts on this topic.
And see, I just want to reiterate something there. What makes them such experts? I'm just going to be dead honest. Like, people like me that used to be involved in the manosphere and with these type of people, I think we have a way better insight into incels and the MGTOW community and men's rights activists because they're all different. They're all different, but I think there's people with a little bit better, insight into this than just, forensic, people. Because it's not really a forensic issue. Now, when it comes, let's just listen.
Dr. Daly, can I begin with you? Women have rejected men since the dawn of time. What all of a sudden has changed? Why is there now all of a sudden this strange subculture that is bonded together?
Answer is the internet. The answer to that is the internet. When you have, I just want to, before they even answer, because I know they're going to say probably some dumb shit, I want to make this clear. When it comes to incels, we remember in my day, you actually had to go outside and do this thing called talk to a woman. And so there's only so many women you can talk to at one time. Like what I mean is in person physically. The internet and cell phones, this gives you an opportunity to shoot your shot with women over and over and over and over and over again. And by doing that, if you take someone that is not very charismatic, or you take someone that has the inability to get pussy, Imagine how many rejections they're going to get over and over and over and over. Imagine these people reaching out to 100 women on the internet and 100 women reject them. If that's the case, it's going to build up animosity in these people, because what we have done is we've flooded the market with rejection. We have flooded the market, and let's just be honest, the internet is a very visual thing. People are doing Instagram photos. Everybody is putting forth their best them on the internet. Not me, I don't give a fuck. But just in general, most people are putting forward their best them. And so with that being the case, what you're seeing is a lot of fake relationships built. You're seeing a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? Shallow visualization connections between people. You're not seeing a whole lot of intellectual or spiritual connections that growing between people that's swiping right or swiping left. But so what I'm saying is, when you are, let's say, a guy and you're on this internet and you're swiping right, swiping right, swiping right, swiping right, and no one's matching you, because they're basing 100% off that initial photo. If you happen to not be a very attractive person, they tend to not swipe right on you, right? And so when men are doing this consistently, and I know this because I read the comments, how many of you make inappropriate, weird comments? Let's be honest here. How many, and see, I make inappropriate comments, but my comments aren't weird, right? But how many of you people in the comment section will say some shit that you know in real life will never get you some pussy, but you say it anyway, sound retarded as shit in the comment section? You know, just completely retarded as shit. I've seen dudes in the comment section see a woman, her image on a YouTube avatar, and be like, your tits look great. That's not how you get pussy, man. And if you don't know that, then this is why you don't get pussy. That's not quite how you do that. There's not a single dude in the history of the planet that's walked up to a complete stranger female and be like, your tits look great. And she's like, yeah, I think we should date. I think me and you should fuck. That shit doesn't even work in a strip club. But these fucking people on the internet, you can see it in the way they type comments. You can see it in the way they spit game. They don't know what they're doing. They sit here behind their computers all day long, just like their keyboard warriors talking tough to me, and with those same little fat Twitter fingers, they're sitting there typing messages and trying to holler at girls all the damn time, and they're getting rejected because they don't know how to fucking just calm down and act like an adult. Let's continue. Sorry about that. Let's get back to this shit. Sorry, this entire video is gonna be kind of discombobulated, but we're gonna keep going. Play the fucking video.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Ashley. You know, some but not all incels believe that increases in women's rights and opportunities allow them to be pickier when...
And that is true. They do. And I'm going to be honest with you, okay? Every woman here thinks they deserve like a Brad Pitt. Every woman here thinks they deserve a 10. It's the truth. It's really strange, ain't it? Like, you see even the fatter, and let me tell you why this happens, is that ultimately women don't deal with too much rejection. Every dude that's ever been nice to you as a woman since the day you hit puberty has been trying to fuck you. Women get offered dick 100 times a day, even when they don't think they're being offered dick. When the dude is bagging your groceries and says, there you go, ma'am, and smiles at you, trust me, every man that's ever been nice to you since the day you hit puberty has wanted to fuck you. That is an absolute fact. If I'm nice to you in my comment section, you're either paying me or I would like to have sex with you. It's actually quite simple, really. But I do want to say this. It's when it comes to the internet, the women, or just in general, women have higher standards than men. You'll see a woman that's a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10 that still believes she deserves an 8, 9, or 10. I'm talking about some fat bitch, welfare queen broad, doesn't cook, doesn't clean, got fake hair, weave, all that shit. She still thinks she deserves the 8, 9, and 10. Just like a lot of the dudes, but see, a dude don't really give a shit. That's why you'll see a dude that you consider a 10 still fucking, like, I'll give you guys an example. Many of you guys have asked me, why I was with certain women at certain times. Bro, I actually don't even pay attention all that much to looks. I'm pretty much, I look at gender roles as pretty much an in and out thing, a replaceable thing. I need someone to cook the eggs. I need someone to fold my drawers. The only thing I gotta actually connect with you on is two things: personality and do I wanna fuck you? And usually since the first time I met you, I was typically drunk. I did anyway, and so now I feel bad because I can't just fuck you and leave. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's how relationships form, at least in my world. But anyway, it's just me being guilty and not wanting to cut you loose after I fuck. Anyway, go ahead.
Women select partners, or that modern online dating is mostly based on looks. My research, though, focuses on incels' experiences, and they face these masculinity challenges, which in turn...
Yes, that is the number one thing. They do. Let's just call it what it is. Most of these men that are incels, that's what it is. Their own masculinity is challenged. They can't stand, they're typically beta males, and so yes, an alpha male, regardless of looks, is going to stand out. Because women tend to gravitate towards the protector and the provider. Most of these incels that you'll see are people that can't do two things: protect and provide. That is just the honest to God truth, but it's the way nature made it. Women are going to gravitate towards people that can make them feel safe and people that can provide and make them feel, good in that department. Now, everything else comes along is those are bonuses and those increase the luck with it. We're talking about sense of humor. Can you make them laugh? Can you dick them well? Can you make them come? All of those things matter. And when you're one of these dudes that fall short on all them categories, including the 666 rule, and I'm not talking about Satan, 6 inches, 6 feet tall, six pack, and then there's the other six figures. If you fall short on all of those things, then yeah, it's going to be a little tougher for you. I'm 6'1", I'm over 6, I'm six figures. Well, I'm a little shorter this year. But then, of course, as long as you got some of those things, those are what typically they look for. But you don't have to have any of those things if you can make them laugh. It's just the reality. The 6666 rule is just the baseline thing that women look for. It doesn't mean it's a necessity. So if you happen to be short, little dick, little income, all of those things, you could still make that up with your personality. If you happen to be on one of those things and your confidence is destroyed, and honestly, you're going to get angry because you're going to continue to get rejected. But let me give you guys a secret or something. Women hate to be rejected too. And see, they normally aren't rejected when it comes to getting the first, thing. And we'll get to Idaho here in just a second. But the reality of this is if you don't believe me, break up with a woman. If you don't believe me, the next time a woman wants to give you some ass, reject it. The truth of this is women hate rejection just as much as men. They just don't face it as much. And if you don't believe that rejection can cause an incel to kill 4 people, I ask you to look at a woman's scorn. Even women, when rejected and scorned, you guys have all heard the terminology about a woman's scorn. That's because women can't handle rejection. And it's the truth. Men can't handle it either. Humans in general, I think, struggle with rejection. So when you have the internet, you connect that, you get men with multiple rejections a day. They can't find anybody. And at the end of the day, what you get is you get that scorn feeling, and it lashes out with some people. Because here's the thing, rather than just improve themselves, whether it's go to the gym, improve their personality, calm down a little bit, get a better job, learn how to fight, learn how to protect, rather than men improving themselves, same thing with women, they would rather just be mad because you weren't willing to accept them, for their failures, for everything that it is. They want you. They think that you are owed to them, ladies and men. They think that they are entitled to you, and that's just the way. And so they think that if someone else has it and they don't, they always ask the same question. How many times have you heard this phrase? What do they have that I don't have? Well, the answer is a lot of things. And so rather than them just go get those things that they have, that you have and that they don't have, they'd rather get mad at you out of envy and jealousy for what you have that they don't have. Now, all of this matters in the relevance of this, because we'll tie this back into Idaho, because I'm going to talk about all the suspects here in just a second. We're going to finish this. But I also am going to say this. Feminism, I agree with them. A lot of that did create a lot of this. Because what happened is it almost made men obsolete. You have the constant push for the feminization and pussification of men, and then ultimately what you have is females out here are making money and doing their own thing. And so what does that do? It takes away the need for the provision of the man. And so what you're seeing is a weird angle in this world right now. I do believe that feminism and all of that did start the crack between men and women. But it doesn't have to be the final crack, because no matter whether that's the case or not, I can't find it in me to hate you for that. And I swear that dog just fucking starts barking he waits for his moments, right, when I'm recording. Anyways, bottom line is I can't hate you for that. Get what you need to get, girl. Because I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of these men are failing out here. A lot of these men don't have what it takes to take care of you or fucking protect you. They're soft as shit. Most of these dudes are feminized cucks. Let's just call it what it is. And that's just the truth. But I also blame you for that, because you told them that it was okay for them to be feminist cucks and emotional pussies. You told them that, and that's why they're like that. And now you're like, oh, they won't provide and protect, so now I got to get out here and get a job. So I get it. I don't hate the women for that. I'm like, shit, men, you guys failed. In a lot of ways, y'all still fail. But it is what it is. But back to what I was saying. Look, looks are not important in this situation. Most women will tell you, and I hate to say that because it sounds so cliche. I used to not believe it either. But I'll tell you now that as a 42-year-old man whose looks, as we age, of course, is going downhill, I get more pussy than I did when I was fucking a 22-year-old football player. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just the way it works, because personality, everything there. Problem is, these incels don't have personality, and so they lash out and they kill people. And one of these reasons that it happens is another thing, this friend zone shit. Platonic relationships aren't real. Platonic relationships are not real. Trust me, even if you think a man wants a platonic friendship with you, a platonic relationship, no, he doesn't. He just convinced you that because he's just waiting on you and your boyfriend to break up, so he's the dick and shoulder that you cry on. Make no mistake about it. And I think that is another thing that happens. And this is where we're going to lead into Jack S. the minute we finish this video, because I believe this could have been something that happened with Jack Showalter. We'll get to that because we'll talk about it. But let's go ahead and continue here. Sorry about that. I've been ranting this whole time.
The way that they're treated, which is often like subhumans in their minds. It affects their self-esteem and their self-worth. So these online communities can provide a sense of support for them as they find shared identity and victimization. So in my research, I've found that online interactions are the social experience for them, and they say that much of the heinous content is a bonding mechanism.
So I've heard this expression, Dr. Daly, called the black pill. What's the black pill? What does that mean?
Yeah, sure. So it's based on the reference to the Matrix.
Actually, let me tell you about the pills, since nobody ever gets it right. There's red pill, which means you're awakened to things like hypergamy and women's nature and men's nature and all this. There's the blue pill, which means you're more of a cuck, right? The black pill is something completely different. The black pill is where you pretty much have realized that, I guess you're a doomer. I guess that's the word. Like the black pill fits in many different avenues and of life. All of this shit does. Red pill means you're awakened to shit. Not woke, awakened to shit. You see things for what they are. Blue pill means you're blind. You see what I'm saying? Like when a woman tells you, yeah, you're the greatest of it. That's the biggest dick I've ever seen. You're like, oh, really? No, you're blue pilled as shit. She's just saying that, motherfucker. She's just saying it. I'm just being honest. I mean, of course, with me, they mean it, but you get my point. Black pill is something way different. It's where you realize the absolute atrocities that exist. When you don't feel like there's any climbing out of this, kind of like the Biden administration. You know what I'm saying? But black pill is where you're doom and gloom all day when it comes to all of this.
about the blue pill and the red pill, but the black pill is this notion that looks and one's appearance are the defining characteristics.
That's not what black pill is.
Success in life.
That's not what black pill is.
Whether it's professional, whether it's platonic or romantic. So for men who are very short or who are physically unattractive, there's nothing they can do to fix it short of plastic surgeries. So it's really kind of a very bleak outlook for what their future happiness looks like.
That's a good way to put it. Bleak outlook. That is the black pill. And a lot of those people, a lot of you guys that fall short of all that, you are black pilled. You do feel like there's absolutely nothing that could be done. And that is the true definition of black pilled.
Well, they should maybe go and check out Beauty and the Beast, on Broadway.
That's right. That's right, Melissa. Beauty and the Beast. Just saying. That's exactly what they should check out.
Theme that has run through most people's lives as they've grown up. It's not about what you look, it's about what you're like. So, Dr. Mohandy, you were one of the earliest, actually, to speak out and say that we shouldn't be ruling out the incel theory in the Idaho murders. Tell me why you think that.
Well, you have a number of things that are reminiscent, if you will, of Isla Vista and other events. You have, several people, the victims, 3 attractive females, the involved male, all of whom are attractive, socially visible, very, up and coming, at the prime of their lives, participating in.
I don't know if I'd call college the prime of your life, right? I don't know if I'd call that, but I agree with him for the most part. And I've told you this since day one, and y'all said I was wrong. Kaylee and these kids, they were beautiful. And this also leads into the bully theory, which we'll talk about here in just a second, because I'm going to finish this thing out strong when it comes to the Idaho murders. I know this was an epic incel rant, but I'm going to finish strong with this, trust me.
What college students participate in terms of living their lives to their fullest. So that's going to evoke feelings of envy and hate among those that perceive that they're on the outs, somebody that's alienated.
He's right.
And in that environment, that could very much be, somebody like this. It also is reminiscent of Isla Vista in that event started with a multiple stabbing at the offender's apartment. A deeply personal, hateful act, and so forth. So the context, the victimology, and the violent attack that characterizes this event made me think that's a possibility. It's not the only possibility, and I'm sure investigators are looking into it, but that was what I associated to it. And, part of a successful investigation, is keeping an open mind to a number of possibilities, and I'm sure they're looking at this and other theories, but that's kind of what I flashed to, when I saw some of the fact pattern of this case.
When you mentioned the Isla Vista, that's the UC Santa Barbara case where the killer said, "I'm after the hottest sorority of UCSB." It's chilling to actually just see it in plain writing. So, Dr. Daly, what does the FBI do about this? Like, how do they track the incel community? Do they troll them online? Is there more surveillance that goes on? And particularly with a case like this, how would that research all of a sudden get very focused and change?
I want to say this. Typically, people in the quote-unquote incel community, there's not really an incel community, but I will say this. There is a little bit. Those aren't going to be the people you have to worry about. It's going to be the incels that are at home stewing. It'll be the people reading or viewing the incel or that type of content. It's not going to be the people active in it. It's not going to be people out there regularly commenting on 40chan or whatever the fuck that's called. It's not going to be people out there actively commenting for the most part. Most incel killings are done by people that are very, very, very low key into themselves, because that same seclusion, that same personality that causes them to be an incel is the same thing causing them to not actually chat online. It is a mental disorder. It is a mental block. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not going to be the outspoken, "Hey, I hate women" guy. It's going to be the quiet dude, just reading and looking and he inside saying, I hate bitches, right? It's going to be that guy that does it, not the guy that's loud and screaming that he hates women in the community. I'm just being dead honest with you. It's just the way it goes. Because usually if somebody's being loud and screaming it, that's how they vent it, is by saying it, right? And we've all been there. When rejected or leaving a relationship or anything, we've all been like, yeah. And you rant and you rave, you cry, you do whatever it is you're going to do, and then you move on. Those people are the ones, the dangerous ones are the ones that's not venting it. The ones that are boxing it up inside of them. Those are the people that are the most deadly ones, the scary ones, because they still haven't released that anger, those feelings.
Yeah, the FBI and other agencies are absolutely aware of incels, and they've probably experienced a lot of training to understand their online activity. So I would suspect that when they're looking for leads and identifying suspects, they know the channels, they know the forums and the sites that they want to look for and, follow this information. If this is something they're considering, which I'm sure that they are, they have the skills and the resources to monitor these sites and hopefully be able to parse out the really extreme trolling that happens on there and any potential legitimate leads.
All right. Now, let's go ahead and get to this because I got some things I want to say. By the way, once again, I want to remind you, if you haven't went back and watched my first, look, I got a whole playlist on this shit. Because if you start from literally video 1, what we got over here, how many videos we got when it comes to Idaho? 27. If you click on this, you'll see my playlist all over here, all the way to the right. You'll see my playlist all the way over here to the right. And I talk about incels in part 1, and I talk about incels in part 2, and it's been my theory literally since the beginning. Now, let's get into the people. Let's connect all this. Let's tie all this shit up. Incels doesn't necessarily have to be someone that you would think looks like an incel. Jack Showalter doesn't look like an incel. He's got family with money. He's a young, I would say somewhat attractive if you're gay, that type of thing. No, hashtag no homo. Attractive young man, right? He doesn't fit the description. However, where this could still be a jackass feeling rejected thing is that friend zone that we talked about previously. And ladies, you got to watch out when you're putting guys in the friend zone. Ladies, I want you to understand something. We don't want to be your friend. Listen to what I'm saying. There is nothing you do that we enjoy doing. Nothing you do that we enjoy doing. We don't want to watch the Friends box set DVD, but we will if we think it can get us some pussy. We don't like anything you do. We don't like your movies. We don't like your music. We don't like anything you do. We don't want to be your friend. We don't. We may be able to hang out and not try to fuck just because we're hoping that works so we can fuck the next time. I'm about to meet one of y'all this week, and I already told that person, yeah, I ain't gonna try to fuck, don't worry. But it's a game. And she says, oh, look at him, he's such a gentleman. And she goes back home and she thinks, next time I see him, I'm sucking his dick. That's just the way it works. We don't really want to be a friend. And I know you women hate knowing that, but it's true. Men, comment section, tell them the truth. Don't lie to them. Tell them the truth. And when you friend zone us, we're already, so we're sitting there on the back burner, like jackass, potentially. And then y'all get to y'all been in the club, all them dudes were probably buying them drinks at the corner club. Jackass was trying to be the gentleman, the Captain Sabo, and he was walking them home. And then they get to the food truck and you clearly see they rejected him. Remember, Jackass had a car. They got a ride home rather than leave with Jackass, even though we clearly saw the video of them walking with Jackass. They left Jackass stuck at the food truck. Now, does that make him an incel? No, but it has incel the same feeling of rejection We don't know if Jack S was an incel or not. He might have been socially awkward. We have no clue. We already have heard rumors that he got kicked out of the sorority for making inappropriate comments, just like I was saying about you dudes that's online with your weird compliments to women. You see what I'm saying? Your weird attempted compliments to women. He was probably, there's rumors he got kicked out of the corner club, that he got kicked out of the sorority, that he's, so it's already, there's rumors about his past actions at his job. There's a lot of red flags that show that Jack S could possibly be at least someone that is rejected on a regular. And because of his youth, his appearance, and his money, he probably thinks that he's entitled to you, and he doesn't understand why you're rejecting him. That's why Jack S is still at the very least tied at number 1 on my list, because incel, not incel, does not matter. Rejection will lead to anger like this. And ladies, you guys friend zoning men, and I'm not saying this means you deserve it, but what I'm saying, watch who you friend zone. When a man is trying to convince you he just wants to be friends, listen to what I'm saying. I'm 42 years old. I'm telling you, he is lying. Lying. We don't have the ability to do, and men, I'm also gonna tell you this, when women tell you they like if you're their man and they want a male friend, they're lying about that too. They get some sort of gratification from that male, even if it's not sex. There is something that they get that boosts their ego, or they consider a backup plan, or another financial resource, or protection, or whatever. The truth of this is, it's not as innocent. Male and female friendships are not as innocent as your spouse and your lover make them seem to you. Because men and women are literally opposite creatures. We don't share the same desires, likes, and any of that. And if you do, it's very, very rare. So Jack S, in my opinion, was, whether incel or not, he was friend zoned into this potential. Let's move on to Jack D. Jack D, now this goes above and beyond. Everybody has said that Kaylee was way out of Jack D's league. And I understand that. Jack D shot his shot. He had a beautiful girl for 5 years. And here's the thing, 5 years, that means they started when they were kids. She blossomed into a beautiful young woman. Jack D, we saw the images of Jack D. Now that doesn't mean anything, but what I am saying is that ultimately, Kaylee blossomed into a superstar. She outgrew Jack D. Let's just call it what it is. And so Jack D is looking at her probably like, man, we're childhood sweethearts. She, at her age, was like, nah, I'm a model and I can be a model, I can have any man I want. And she decided she had grown past Jack D. And that enraged Jack D, potentially. And Jack D would maybe be like, no, fuck this. No, if I can't have you, nobody can. And I think that's a very, very real possibility when you look at this. And if you look at the phone calls that night, this you got to understand. You look at the conversation about, what did you tell Adam? Adam used to be best friends with Jack D, all of this, roommate, bartender. You know who I'm talking about. And so whatever, maybe she knew that the information that got back to Jack D was shit that would hurt his feelings or whatever. So she started calling him to say, babe, it's okay. And she wanted to smooth it over or whatever. She probably never thought no shit like this was going to happen. Meanwhile, Jack D may not have been answering that phone because he's like, nope, I'm about to go kill this bitch. Shining up his knife. Nope, this bitch is dead. Why? Rejection. Humiliation. Which is the exact same thing that the incels go through this entire time. This is why from the very beginning of all this, I said it will be this type of situation. And then let's look at the other potential suspects that you guys have brought up. You can't tell me Joe V doesn't look, you can't tell me that he doesn't have incel vibes. You can't tell me, you can look at his appearance and some of the way he seemed on his live streams, the stuttering, and look at the neighbor, look at all of those people. There's They crave the attention they're now getting. They do in a lot of ways. That's why Joe V came back up with his big ass on an Instagram video shirtless. He's like, yeah. Because they're inappropriate. They don't understand awkwardness. If Joe V didn't understand it was awkward to come back on Instagram or on TikTok with no shirt on, being 400 pounds, come on, man. Joe V, if you look it back and he's like, ew, girls that smell like alcohol. Man, you're either gay or you really do hate women. I understand some of you say Joe V's married, blah, blah, blah. That's weird too. Being a grown-ass man hanging out with college kids, weirdo, right? But let's call it what it is. Most of us men, we bump into girls that are drunk and wobbling. We're like, yeah, this is our chance. Not Joe V. He's like, ew, gross college girls, drunk college girls, gross. How fucking limp-wristed could you be? There's something funny with Joe V. He's in the closet of a lot of weird shit. But I'll leave that be. The bully angle. The bully angle is no different than the incel angle. Because what it is people rejected. Oh, they're too hot, they're bullies. No, you're just weak. You ever notice that? Unpopular people always think popular people are fucking bullies. Let's just call it what it is. And I'm not saying it's not a possibility. But at the end of the day, I believe the bully theory could be very true. Maybe these girls did think they were better than the other people. And they were like, you know what I'm saying? It's very, very possible. Maybe these were the stuck-up college kids that thought they were better than everybody. These were the popular sorority college kids that thought they were better than everybody. Range Rovers, all that type of shit. My type of people. But here's what happens. It's just like the incel community, the same thing with the jealousy thing. That you're bullying me. And all it really typically is somebody mad because they're rejected from the popular circle. You know what I'm saying? Like, can I hang out with you, Kaylee? No. You know that you're bullying me. I don't even believe in the word bullying. I think the word bullying is way overused. Just to be perfectly honest. I think it's way overused. You know, I've heard the stories about the other girl you guys talk about a lot. Maybe she was bullied. Maybe she was rejected. Maybe she was looked down upon. And ultimately she took her own life because she couldn't be one of the cool kids. Maybe. The bully theory actually holds a lot of possibilities that could have led to people having animosity towards them. But it also reconnects to the incel theory because it's the same thing. People feeling entitled to certain things that they don't get, whether it be respect, friendship, whatever, pussy. At the end of the day, it's a bunch, whether we're talking about the bully theory or the incel theory, it's people jealous or upset because they couldn't be part of the cool kid group. And so what they did is they lashed out and said, no, we're going to make the cool kids suffer. Maybe, maybe not. But that's ultimately what it always boils down to in these situations. And it doesn't matter what suspects we look at, even if it was the neighbors or the roommates. I've seen the roommates. Is it possible that they were jealous at all the attention that Kaylee and Maddie got? It is possible. I don't know. But, of course, the monkey wrench in this game is the Ethan and Xana thing. Now, from what I've seen, from what I've read, Xana was actually a big mouth, especially drunk. I don't know if you guys saw that Reddit post. She was one of them I am woman, hear me roar types, right? That could have been another thing. So the whole fight at the sorority could have been a real thing that led to this. I'm still leaning towards Jack D and Jack S in that whole situation. But ultimately what we have here is a situation, no matter who did this, where it was very personal. My theory from day one has been rejection, incels, things like that. And whether we're talking about the bully theory or we're talking about Jack D or Jack S, I think the theory still fits. It's interesting to hear the mainstream media talk about it now. Now, you guys may not like the things that I've said in this video, but the reality of this is the things that I've said is very, very accurate. A lot of you guys don't understand this community, especially the incels. You don't understand the consequences of certain actions, like friend zoning and all this shit. I'm just here to tell you. There's a reason from minute one that I called this out and I made this my theory. There's a lot of dudes out here that can't get pussy and they're mad about it. Now, personally for me, I think they should learn to shut the fuck up and jack off. I don't think that these men should be mad at other people because these men don't know how to get pussy. It's 2022. Pussy is literally the easiest thing on the planet to get. It's easier than ordering a pizza, man. I don't understand. And here's the truth. And also, all you incels and all you people that are failures and can't get pussy or can't build relationships, I just want to make this very, very clear to you. No one owes you anything. No one owes you shit. And the reality of this is if you're antisocial and your social game sucks and you can't get friends and you can't get people to want to fuck you, that is a you problem. Stop taking it out on other people because nobody owes you any of that. Go buy some pussy. You do understand people sell pussy, right? It's not that hard. Any person that says, I can't get laid, no, yes, you can. You can purchase pussy. It's not out of the, like, let's just call it what it is. Well, I don't have any, so, but here's the problem. A lot of these incels, they can't purchase pussy because just like their social awkwardness prevents them from getting pussy, it also prevents them from being a boss or getting a job or doing any of this. So they are typically broke in their mom's basement eating Cheetos and Hot Pockets, thinking about ways to slaughter the people that's not eating. Hot Pockets actually sound pretty good. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section what you think about this. I think the incel angle is still the top of the list. And I know, like I said, some of you guys are not going to like what I said here, but this is why you watch me, right? I'm the realest motherfucker on this thing. That's the truth. And if you guys agree with that and you want to support the channel, no better time than now. I ain't got no damn presents under the tree. It's just a tree with no presents. If you like what I do here, support the channel down below. Love you guys. I'm going to get up out of here. I should be live sometime tonight, man. I woke up late. Sorry. But I gave you guys this. Peace out.